Oh, for crying out. Yes, it's fine. Let me in. So anyway, hey, welcome to our oh-so-wonderful, fantastic Guild War. Looks like we got ourselves a Ahmed, Mercedes, and Savior Adin. So hey, cool. Sounds like a ton of fun. And Shazam. That right there is something I have straight up not even noticed yet. Have you already seen it? That was an injury Mercedes. I don't see those very often, but they do exist. I straight up haven't even noticed yet, by the way. But like, it was right around whenever Yulha's turn kicks in, or I think I'm starting to realize it now. Okay, so I'm on a time limit. So I'm going up against Savior Adin, Mercedes, and Ahmed. This is going to be a very, very fast team because Ahmed is there, and I had to take that risk to go into the Adin. Thankfully, I hit, so I don't have to deal with any counter shenanigans. So now we're primed and ready to kill at least somebody with Yulha, but we also happen to have Devil's Descent already. And because we don't have to deal with Skill Null, we can just straight up take out Savior Adin now. Thankfully, that worked out super well. So now all we have left is Mercedes and Ahmed. And right here, I just decide, okay, I'll go ahead and I'll kill the Ahmed now, because if I were to kill Mercedes with Yulha, then she would just come back. So I don't really see the point. Why not go ahead and go for the Ahmed, just take her out now, and then we'll only have to deal with Mercedes. Now, with this, you're actually starting to see this Mercedes is doing a lot of damage because she just happened to get Magic for Friends, and then she also got her S2. So that was 4 total attacks that I just had to deal with right then and there. Thankfully, even though we've been injured, we are very, very thick HP bruiser boys, and we can still do more than enough damage to kill this Mercedes right out. And because this is an extinction, she ain't coming back. Hooray! Who's up for the next fight? So yeah, right here, this is honestly a mistake on my part because I haven't touched my rules gear in quite a while. So this is Zio, Senya, and Winter, and I decided to bring in Rule of Light, Roana, and Milim. Now, Roana's there strictly to just tank the first hit from Winter. Like, that's all it is. So yeah, that's a very high effectiveness Winter. She was able to hit my Roana with those debuffs. Now, this was luck because she hit my Milim right there. So thankfully, none of the debuffs like really hit her, so we're good to go right there. And I go for a Soul Burn there, get that extra turn, and I just decide to kill Winter now. So now that Winter is dead, I can use my rule to, hey, I can heal off any of the damage stuff or any of the stuff that's on Roana. Now, this is where I didn't think this through. Oh, right! My rule has no effect resist. Oh, derp. But either way, it all still works out in the end because Milim was being incredibly base today, and also straight up Roana still being the bestest healer ever. She is stunned and has like anti-heal on her right now. Whenever that Zio did his follow-up turn, it still healed the rest of the team. God, Roana is so good. But hey, that's how that one all worked out. Super dandy. So, for the next one, we have another Dark Corvus fight. Now, this is Christy. I brought Christy strictly to see, like, hey, is this an effectiveness ran? And it is. So, I have Death Break right here, and right now, I was initially worried for a second, but then I remembered, oh yeah, Proof of Valor is fucking broken. So yeah, that did almost nothing. And also, I have Aureus with me with Christy. Don't have to worry about that. And we have Destina for extra safety, just in case if we have to revive. We're 100% good to go. So that Death Break was probably the scariest moment of the entire fight, and we've already taken care of it. So we're going to just waste our turn going into Ran there. We don't need to fight anybody else at the moment. But the other good thing that Christy is there is I don't have to really worry about things like Senya hitting me with any provoke locking, anything like that. Because unless the Senya is rocking, high effectiveness, they're usually not rocking much of anything. So you're kind of dealing with like just a 100% chance or so. And if you have 100 effect resist, you don't really have to worry about that shit. Ain't that just fucking swell? So now we have the chance to go into Savior Adin. She is Deadzo. And now all we have left is we have Ran and we have Senya. So with this right here, Ran is only going to go into Dark Corvus, so I really don't have much to worry about. And like, this is a crit. And then the next turn he gets, he's going to hit him again. So before you know it, I'm going to have my Devil's Descent back yet again, and I'm going to have a soul so I can just burn that shit. So when I get the chance to burn, and also, hey, another Galaxy Brain move, go into the Senya, have her counterattack you, so that's just another extra point of damage. And hey, pretty much I'm pretty positive the next time that Ran attacks me, hey, we're good to go. So yeah, right there. So I don't care. She has like a little tiny baby barrier on her. That's not going to do jack shit. Because if you guys know anything about Dark Corvus, if you have a soul burn and you have close to 30k HP, you're doing somewhere around the 29k area in terms of damage. And there ain't really shit you can do about it when it comes to taking that hit. Because the only other thing you could possibly do at that point is you can do damage sharing and you can do and you can dodge it. But still, a burn of that, unless you're going into a bruiser, you're probably going to kill it. And I didn't get an opportunity to get Devil's Descent off again because Ran is just too squishy. So here's the next fight. Now, welcome to the final fight. So we have Alencia, Shadow Knight Pyllis, and Roana. And we're going into an oh-so-wonderful Conqueror Lilias, Choux, and an Apocalypse Ravi comp. Oh, goody. My favorite. So I didn't have any room on the team to really fit in a light unit. I just couldn't figure one out real quick. I mean, I could have probably done this with some Lone Crescent Bologna shenanigans with a light bait or something like that. But, you know what? Whatever. We're just going to go into this with Alencia because we like using Alencia. We like to make things hurt. But we did make a small mistake at the very beginning of this fight. So the first thing that I did was with Pyllis, I immediately went into Choux. Now, that was a mistake. And also, Snow Crystal, you're a bitch. And right there was the problem, is I provoked her, so she still has her S3 available. So I'm still waiting on her to use it, and then I go into her again. So, like, this is the mistake. We're basically 2 turns deep of, like, delayed action going on right now, where we can't go into a Ravi yet, because we still have to deal with the Choux. Now, the reason it was a problem was because the Choux hasn't done her S3 yet, so we don't have an opportunity to use Alencia's S3 to try and strip. That's the problem, because as soon as Choux gets her S3 up, then you have to start dealing with crit damage. So I tried to just say, like, okay, so this is the problem I'm dealing with, so I'll try and provoke lock her and then just try to kill her before this even happens. Didn't end up happening, so okay, whatever. Now it's already looking kind of sketch, but thankfully we were able to get the strip right here. So with this strip, we're able to go ahead and keep moving through this. Unfortunately, like, you know, Pyllis is provoked because she's lost a lot of her HP, so she lost 60% of her effect resist. That's the way it works. It's really, really stupid. That's just the way it is. But the next thing that we need to do is we need to go into Apocalypse Ravi at least a little bit, or we need to kill Choux now, because we can't keep taking double hits from these units. Because if it keeps happening, we're just going to die. Now, fortunately, we're somewhat still so much in a lead right now that it's not too detrimental if Pyllis were to die at this moment, because this is going to kill Choux. I was deciding if I wanted to burn or if I wanted to try and go for Apocalypse Ravi, but no, we need to kill Choux. So as soon as she's gone, and here I was deciding, okay, what should I do now? And the answer was, yeah, we need to see if we can try and provoke lock this Apocalypse Ravi. Now, that doesn't happen, and then she just goes into me. Thankfully, and I didn't have death buff, so I was actually kind of worried right here, and I thought So yeah, it's looking real bad right now. Now, thankfully, we got our 1 turn in on Roana, so we got ourselves a nice little heal and a little bit of a barrier. And we can start going into Apocalypse Ravi with Alencia. Another thing that happened throughout this whole fight, there were a couple of crit misses that Alencia did. One was on Choux, which I'll accept because that's Snow Crystal. But a couple of these are just 2% like non-crits. I think it happened early in the fight when I was going into Apocalypse Ravi. So yeah, she's at 88. She gets 10 from Edward's artifact. Look at how freaking close that is. So now we were able to get up the S3 with the Roana. That's a revive. So now we're in at least a little bit of safe havens. So if, you know, she goes into my Pyllis, I should be all right, at least for a little bit. But like I was saying with Alencia, yeah, she's at 88 crit. So with Edward's artifact, that gives 10. So she has a 2% chance of missing the crit. It actually does happen in this fight. We've probably already passed it, but like, yeah, it's never a good feeling whenever you see that. But yeah, now that we've gotten through that one little bad spot, we're able to deal with Apocalypse Ravi accordingly. I'm pretty sure we can kill her right on this turn, I believe, if we hit her with Pyllis. But, like, Pyllis isn't there, so hey, let's go into her. Yeah, we got a Death Break, and she is dead. And then all we have left is Conqueror Lilias. So, yeah, whenever you're down to just Conqueror Lilias, you can kind of do whatever you please until you win. But yeah, like I said before, I could have probably brought in some other kind of light bait unit. I probably could have brought in Lone Crescent Bellona into this. But I just didn't. I wasn't thinking about it. And sometimes that's just the way it is. Sometimes my brain don't work so good. But yeah, this was essentially the final boss fight of the Guild War today. It was pretty rough. Oh, man. So, look at this blast from the past, boys. So any of you who have been around for long enough, you probably might remember this really, really cancer team way back in the day. Fallen CC, Landy, and Tempest Surin. This team was an absolute menace and a just very, very bad thing to society for a very, very long time. It was for really about a year. But, like, now, you can really kind of, like, just Conqueror Lilias this, just because Conqueror Lilias is a broken fucking unit, and they still haven't nerfed her or created a real counter to her. Oh, but Celine, non-attack skill. Okay, cool, just don't use her non-attack skill. And, oh, Benimaru, extra turn. Okay, just don't use the skill. But either way. So we're going into this with Shuna, Milim, and Last Rider Krau. Last Rider Krau, because he has Tywin's Artifact, which is Crown of Glory, that basically nerfs a whole lot of the AoE damage. These guys aren't running Effect Resist, because that was one of the ways you could have fought this way, way back in the past, was with a lot of control. You just didn't have a lot of control at the time. And even here, I'm just kind of like fucking with this team. I didn't even have attack buff, which I could have easily done at any time with Milim, because you're not dealing with revive mechanics here. Like, you can go through this fight way, way better than I did with the same team. Just by, at the start of it, even when you were silenced, you could still have, like, hit the Landy with a soul-burned S1 Milim, and then you could have done the S3. You could have absolutely done that. I didn't do it, because I'm stupid. But, like, hey, that's just how it is. And Milim was just a really, really good unit to bring here, because Milim has anti-stealth mechanics. She's so far the only unit in the game that actually does have an anti-stealth mechanic. And it kind of sucks because she's the only one. It really kind of feels like we need a few more. But because of that, hey, we've got all the tools in the world now to fight this meta team, and the team ain't meta no more, and that's pretty much the reason for it. Once again, if you wanted to be really, really cheesy and stupid about it, you could have fought this with Conqueror Lilias, because Conqueror Lilias just, you know, buff strips the first thing, and you never have to worry about stealth or any of that, and then you could always just provoke lock the Tempest Surin. But we didn't feel like using Conqueror Lilias, because Conqueror Lilias is a bitch. Now, for this next fight, this is pretty much just, we rolling some dice, because we just straight up don't give a shit. So it's Conqueror Lilias, Mercedes, and Rimuru. We're going to go into this with a Benimaru attempt, and then we have Iseria in the wings, who's there just to prevent revives. So we didn't kill the Mercedes, she did not activate Magic for Friends, and Rimuru did not kill Benimaru. So hey, things are looking pretty good, cuz Shazam! Now, Mercedes is dead, not coming back because Iseria is on the field, and this Rimuru is really not strong. Look at that HP. 17k? That's a wall Rimuru. He ain't doing damage. So this guy was expecting the Mercedes to do all of the damage. Now, because Rimuru was at super, super high HP, it'll take just like a hot second, and we didn't get a 2-turn Death Break here, that's only 1, so he's going to cleanse it right here. And he also has Crit Resist. I love Rimuru. Fucking asshole. So, okay, you got Crit Resist? Alright, I'll just hit you with this. I don't even give a fuck if you miss, because that's going to kill you. And now, with that, all you have left is Conqueror Lilias. So, pretty interesting, pretty fun fight. Like, I could have probably done this with Sinful Angelica. It's just Rimuru is the thing that makes it kind of scary, because at any point Rimuru, well, no, it would have worked. It would have worked. I could have done this with like Sinful Angelica as a hawk and oh wow, my brain's killing me right now. But like, yeah, it would have worked. But either way. With that being said, that is the end of the Guild War. Oh man, I'm exhausted. So hey, I believe RTA ends tomorrow. So hey guys, make sure you go ahead and do your RTAs. So far from what I've been able to notice, I'm seeing quite a few Winters, I'm seeing a few Amids, and quite frankly, a metric fucking shitload of Conqueror Lilias. Wow, could it be that that unit is fucking broken? Maybe. Possibly. Pretty fucking likely. But, yeah, I just kind of went standard throughout a lot of my fights. Used a lot of Last Rider Krau. Last Rider Krau made it a whole lot simpler. And I'm going to so just say this real quick. I know some of y'all are like, oh, hey, does this mean we're going to get some, like, RTA videos? Sorry to say, no. I don't think I have, like, any really interesting material with RTA. And if anything, RTA is probably, like, only something you can get some enjoyment out of if you watch it live. So if I were to stream it, for example, and I don't really have a method of streaming, and I'm just gonna be frank and honest with all of you, I fucking hate RTA. I have not been very secretive on my opinion of RTA. I've been pretty open and pretty honest about it. I really, really despise the game mode. The biggest reason why is really it's a really, really big time sink, and because of that time sink, I just also don't have a lot of like just patience for it. I don't really care about the game mode myself. So that's pretty much it. And also, we just don't really get any good rewards. Like, hey, what's the only reason that a lot of people do RTA and they do that mad dash to get it done now? Oh, it's because there's a skin on the line. So for this one in particular, it's Mediator Calric. Very, very hyper meta hero. Going to be very popular for a very long time. So people probably want that skin. I understand. Me personally, I'm not a big fan of it. I'm just a collector. So I'm just going to grab it because it's there. But hey, if you like this video, I would really appreciate it if you would like it if you did. And if you want to see more of my content, please hit subscribe. Hope to see y'all again soon. Later.